So you also teach financial freedom through Tantra. I'm wondering what this means because I think you're telling us to have sex with money, which I'm totally down for. Is that true?
Well, great joke. Just
Hey, great joke.
yeah, Tantra is so misunderstood for what it is. Tantra means expansion and liberation of your being. It's not about sex. Sex, it's just sexual practices is a part of it because Tantra says that through your senses, through your body, you can reach God. You can reach that state of freedom and expansion through senses, including not denying it, like some religions would offer. And there's no right or wrong. But I do believe, like in my case, it works. And sexual practices is just a little part of Tantra, but because it was brought this way in the Western world, that's how people pursue it. So when I say about financial freedom through Tantra, I'm saying about expanding and evolving and liberating yourself from fears
Mm.
and from mind programs and from patterns to become abundant. That's what I mean.
So is Tantra then like affirmations? Is it breathing work? Like what would you actually do?
It's a state of being. And
Okay.
that state, there are many tools right now available, from meditations, breath work, energy work, many tools available right now. For me, it was a path. It
Mm.
wasn't, it didn't happen overnight. And I've done it all. I've done
Yeah.
everything to get here. And now I know how to help other people to reach that state.
That's really cool. Yeah, so you did say that I don't know when this was. It was last summer. You said I achieved oneness. What does
Yeah.
this look like? And are you like missing the fact that you're not always in oneness? Because I recently did some I
Question.
yeah, I recently did some mushrooms and I felt like Neo in the Matrix and I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to this reality. I want to be Neo all the time. This sucks.
I get it. And actually, my first experience to oneness was with Bufal Various. But it was a path again. I was ready for that. I was searching so deeply for answers. So when I lived through that, it through my first experience of oneness, after that I experienced it several times already by now, without just without taking any medicine, let's put it that way.
Mm,
But when first time I experienced that, I realized that I am the creator of everything, not me as Tatiana, but me, something in each and every person, right? We are not even just a part of it. We are this whole creation. And it's just a game. It's a divine game where we're just playing with the world and feeling all the emotions, going through life is such a blessing. Only with this body, with these senses, with this matrix, you can experience what you can experience. Because when you're just an energy, you can't experience that precious gift we have here on earth. So
mm.
it was a lot. It was like merging with the whole world, with God, with light, with the whole universe. People call it different name. It's all
Yeah.
one at the end of the day. You can call it whatever, but only through living through that experience, you know, you
Yeah.
remember. You remember. Everybody knows actually, but we forget, and that's a part of the game. To find this way to remember you are the creator, you are God within you,
Mm.
and you create everything, this reality, this matrix for yourself.
How would you
um
describe this state? Because I've experienced it, and I would say it feels like you disappear. The
mm,
the version of you that you think you are is like gone.
personality, your
Yeah.
personality is gone, your personality is gone, but
Personality, exactly. That's what I mean.
the true you is there. You find your true self
Mm.
there, but your personality is gone. And after that, I lived through that state several times already. and from different perspectives. Like I experienced oneness with my mom when she was passing away. I experienced oneness with the man, for example, in a union, and so on and so forth. And it's every time something happens to misalign, when you align back, you experience oneness again and again and again from different perspectives. Because last summer, when I experienced it the first time, I'm like, so what's next? Like, if it's combination,
I know.
Then I realized that it's infinite. And that's what we're here for, to experience it from different angles again and again and then again. And it's an eternal journey. And it's so beautiful. The further you go, the more beautiful it becomes.
Yeah, it's like indescribable, I would say, when it happens. All right, so switching gears a little bit, you did say that you experimented with group sex in your 20s, but now you believe in relationships with just one person.
You really cited my profile.
I went in, I go in. So yeah, you said you experiment group sex in your 20s, but now you believe in relationships with just one person. When did you become so boring?
After I have done it, and I'm like, okay, I've done it.
Okay, it's fine. So can you talk about this journey?
Of course, yeah. I was actually experiencing it with my ex-boyfriend back in Russia, and it was an interesting experiment. And I realized that it's kind of spreading the energy out, and it's when you can collect it and put it within one relationship and go deeper. But it's an experience, right? By experiencing that, I could go differently.
That's like, I have to stop you right there. That's like the most beautiful argument for monogamy that I've ever heard. I really like that.
Yeah, it's like oneness. You can learn about your partner forever. Each one of us is the entire universe. So instead of spreading, just going deep, getting to know each other again and again and again. That's where the true beauty is. Really, 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 really.
But what if your partner is boring?
No, I know.
What if your partner's boring though? Or what if, I guess an idea I do want to kick around with you that I would love to get your take is, I get monogamy and I think it makes sense in some ways, but also like you teach, I believe, so many people in the self-help world believes kind of almost, I feel like a dichotomy in the sense that they're like, we're infinite beings with infinite possibilities. Anything is possible. You could do anything. Millions of opportunities. You're limitless, but you should marry Brad. And it just feels like that seems in itself kind of limiting. Like you said, experiencing somebody over and over again, but what if you're bored with them? Or what if you're like, the new experiences is fun? Like, how do you reconcile these things?
I think you become bored with a person and with yourself in a way in this relationship when you put yourself and the person in boxes. In boxes, you define, oh, I know you, you love that. Oh, I know you're like that. And that's it. You stop exploring further.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, we know we love different things and different people. That's why, it's so difficult for some people to keep monogamy, and there's no judgment in that at all. Like it's different for everyone, and that's the beauty of the world. Everyone is different. But, every person kind of highlights some different parts of us. And that's why we like to communicate with different people. And some people like to have sex with different people because it unfolds different parts of you. But if you, again, go deep into getting to know different parts of each other, not putting each other in the box, oh, I know you like that, and then go for that every time, it becomes boring. Keep exploring each other, not only in bed, in life. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new you. Let's get to know each other.
I fucking love that, man. You should write a book about this. Again, I think something you said that's so important is deciding and putting a label, and I've been talking about this a lot on my podcast, because once you do that and say you're this way, you've just closed the door on 1,000 things to be different.
Yeah.
When you're like, this person's like this all the time, it's like, okay, well, you're just going to get that back all the time. Do you want that? And it's so easy to do that in relationships because over time you've been with them for so long.
Yeah.
Right? Thank
But
you.
again, we put labels on the personality, where in reality, through you is the whole universe, like everything. And you can help the other person to find that other side as well.
Yeah, you said this great thing on your Instagram. I think you were talking about your partner. You said, every experience with him is here for me so I can meet my true self again and again. And there's this singer that I love. He has this line where he said, find your center. My love is just a reminder. And I think what's interesting is people often talk about love as being this like very selfless thing. But often the best love, I think, is somebody who highlights the best parts of you and reminds you of that. What do you think about that?
I think the best love is love to yourself first.
Yeah.
And then through that love to yourself, through abundance of that love, you truly can love the whole universe. You truly can love your partner. When you do everything for partner, forgetting yourself, there's no true love for either of you. True love comes from love to yourself first, knowing who you truly are, what your values are, what you want from life, and without going for that, without compromises. Then you attract the right partner who wants the same things.
Didn't that happen to you?
It did happen to me.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that? Because were you married? I forgot.
I was married. I was married for we were together for 7 years. I'm married for 5.5. And 2.5 years, we separated. We're divorced by now. And it was a path for me to find myself again, differently, and to find a relationship where I am very well defined. I know I left because I needed to find myself first. That's the first and foremost reason. And when I did, I know exactly what I want from the partner. I see it right away. And that's what happened.
Do you think that you can find yourself with a partner, or do you think you need to start from that place?
You need to start with finding yourself first.
Okay.
It's very easy to get lost in the relationship because, you're in love and there's lots of chemistry, especially in the beginning. So, and then again, with that, you might start compromising because you think you love that person, but that's more of addiction then. It's about being true to yourself no matter what, and keeping that connection lightly, no matter how you love that person. There's freedom in that lightness, in letting each other lots of space, but at the same time, lots of loyalty. There's lots of freedom in that combination. And it's not easy to achieve, but it's possible.
Yeah, I just want to point this out for the listeners. Like, it's just amazing that you had this marriage, and then instead of getting divorced, being bitter about the breakup, thinking about them constantly, bringing that relationship into your now reality, saying how this is all things are, you decided, I'm going to just double down on myself. That's what happened.
Every time. Every time something actually dramatic. I call it dramatic, not even dramatic. It's just dramatic. It's intense. Something intense happens. I look at it like, okay, what does it mean for me? And why? How can I meet my true self even deeper? And it gives you a completely different perspective on life and different quality of life because of that, and very different result, because that leads to transformation, that leads internal transformation, that leads to external change. You don't repeat the same pattern with different guys over and over again.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of us, what we do is go through the breakup, play out in our head, who was right, who was wrong, and then we're like, okay, I'm ready for the next person. And then around and around we go, and then you just do the same shit again,
Yeah, it's the same pattern because it's about you first. You need to find answers within first, and what what kind of catch that pattern that made something did not work for you before. Catch it, change it, catch it, changes, unless you finally get it. But really, it's infinite. There's always something to unfold, and you can become more and more free. Yeah, but you can become more and more free already within the partnership when you grow together and enhance each other.
I love that. So you also said that you can give and receive energy orgasms. Is it fair to call you the cum magician?
I love this interview.
I'm like, you're not going to get this question from somebody else.
Well,
what does this mean? Can you describe what this means?
Yeah, of course. It's about you can do it without almost a contact, or with just contact with your body, without contacting the intimate parts that we usually go for right away. And it creates like the whole body orgasm, where every cell of your body just trembling in bliss, instead of the energy being keeping in that place where your organs usually are. And there are many techniques I can teach you guys, but one of them, even if you didn't go for that, well, that takes time and effort and commitment to do that. You don't have to do it every time you have sex, but sometimes it's good to do it, and that's a part of that exploration of each other that I was talking about. But also another practice you can do after you experience orgasm, so the energy is not stuck in your lower chakras. You can push it up the spine, and with your mind, and literally see energy going up and down, up and down. So you spread it through your body. That also gives you an opportunity not to just experience, to experience it wider than you regularly would. And it's kind of a self-training. Every time you do it, you become more and more sensitive, more and more sensitive. The more time you do it with your partner as well, the more you explore each other and keep it interesting for each other as well.
That's awesome. So it's like visualizing and sort of picturing it.
It's doing it.
Okay, just doing.
Go for it.
Why visualize? Get it off your vision board. Okay. Yeah, never heard of that. That's cool. So, what do you mean that you could send it? Oh, you could give it to your partner. You can't just like send it to a stranger.
I can, but I don't want to. I want to do it. Why would I do it to a stranger? I let him be. I mean,
let him be.
there are people around me all the time.
Just a guy going to work, just getting energy orgasms. Okay, just like he's like, whoa, this is a great day. That's great. All right, so you said that something really cool. You said pain is natural, suffering is optional, and I think that's really amazing, because specifically in religion, I feel like and I was raised Catholic, it's often taught that like literally life is suffering, and I just think that's so not true. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, and someone doesn't have to. It's kind of in many religions, you have to suffer to go to heaven.
Yes.
And I say, you create your heaven and hell right here, right now, and you choose what you create. It's not somewhere there. It's right here, right now, in the moment of now. And in terms of pain and suffering, I offer to separate those terms. Pain is just a temporary state that you can experience. You cut your finger, you experience pain, right? It's a part of life. You lose your loved ones, you might experience pain. It's okay. Suffering would be creating a non-true story around that pain. For example, you lost somebody and you tell yourself a story. Now I cannot live without him. I will never be happy without him. That's a story you created for yourself, and suffering. Because in reality, of course you can be happy. Of course it's painful in the moment, but you can be happy. That's the reality. but you might program yourself to that. So suffering is something mind created around pain, trying to escape the pain or not accepting it fully as a part of life. What I do now, I just live through that state. I allow, if I need to be in bed, I'm in bed, just living through that. But trust me, it just goes away much quicker, much faster. It changes to something else. When you allow yourself just fully go there, then it changes. And it doesn't get stuck in your body. It doesn't, because, any pain, any emotion that you didn't live through properly, you suppressed it. It gets suppressed first in energy field, then it gets closer and closer to your body, and then it becomes a disease at some point.
Yeah, I guess I've had a difficult time determining the difference between pain, suffering, and rumination. Like, do you know what I mean? People, a lot of times I've worked with a lot of coaches, they're like, well, you need to feel this more. And I'm like, but I think about it constantly. So it's hard for me sometimes to determine the difference between pain and suffering, because I'm all for feeling pain, but then I'm also like, well, I've been telling myself the same stories for 7 years. I would like to just stop.
That same story is suffering. And that causes pain, that you can stop telling the story, live through that moment with a guide. Sometimes it's better with a coach guide, and just release that and stop living that story.
Just stop telling myself that. Great.
Yeah, but for that, you do need to let it go, because it's somewhere there stuck. And with the energy work I do, Kundalini activation, it's the energy of life and love that heals everything. It finds these blockages and it releases it. But one thing is to release it, but not to make it come back. It's a mental effort to choose not to follow that story anymore, and just believe that story is not true, because the reality is much wider than that.
Absolutely.
I can tell you with confidence that living without suffering is possible. Living without pain is not. Without suffering is possible, but it's a path, and it's lots of internal strength, and working on your mindset, working on your state of being to reach that state first, and then to hold it, to maintain it.
Okay, great. Well, this has been awesome. I like to close by playing a game. It's called Spiritual or Asshole, where I say some things and you tell me if it's spiritual or asshole. Are you down?
I'm like against duality, just to be
Well, this is going to be fun then for you. This is going to be fun. So the game is already an asshole. Okay, great. I'm against duality.
I'm going to say everything is spiritual.
All right, great. Well, that's fine. That's okay. Well, I'm going to test you. Here we go. Spiritual or asshole, sending an energy orgasm to someone you don't like while they're giving a press conference, like Vladimir Putin.
Very spiritual.
Okay. Spiritual or asshole, wanting a deep, intimate relationship with money. So you take a bunch of $100 bills, tape them to a mannequin, and take her to a couple's cupcake class.
Very spiritual.
Okay. Spiritual or asshole. Yeah, it's awesome. Spiritual or asshole, saying affirmations even if they feel like they're not working.
Asshole.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your first asshole.
You have to believe. You have to believe. It's not just saying. This positive thinking, when people just pretend to be happy and hiding so much pain behind the smile, you can see that it's a mask you put on. It's about being natural, feeling the emotions, but in full awareness. So just saying doesn't work. No, you have to believe. You have to make internal switch. You have to make internal work to make it work.
Okay. All right. Spiritual or asshole, having group sex, but that group is Metallica, the band.
Of course, spiritual. Whatever the hell you want.
Spiritual or asshole, traveling to a new country, wearing a t-shirt that says, "I'm an American, please rob me."
Please rob me. Why just rob?
Spiritual.
Oh,
Great. Spiritual or asshole? Instead of an angel investor, a devil investor, and it's an investor who just comes to the office and eats all the snacks.
spiritual.
I love that. All right, spiritual or asshole? Proving that money can really buy happiness after you buy a dolphin for your swimming pool.
Here we go. Spiritual.
There we go. There we go. That was great. All right. Last question I ask everybody. If you could tell people one thing to tell themselves all day long, what would it be?
Tell themselves, live the life you love, truly love. That's what you're here for.
I
Without
love
fears.
That's great. I love that. All right. You want to tell everybody where they can find you?
I have a website, tatianaflow.com, and all information is there about my private sessions, about mentorship programs, and about group sessions that I do once in a while. So you can always reach me on there. I offer free discovery calls before the sessions to get to know each other, and we can go from there.
All right. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brendan. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Great. Thank you.